What's up, awesome family? Hope you guys have no wonderful day and welcome back to another lit video. Now today I'm coming with y'all with episode, I'm gonna go with 19 of the reaction videos. I'm pretty sure it is 18, but I know I've been gone for a little while. I need to keep on being consistent, but I'm back with the horror story animations episode, whatever the title says. Okay, now this is actually 2 hours long, but I'm not about to sit here 2 hours. I'm about to just cut it in a quarter of a quarter, and we just about to watch like 3 of them junks. Now without further ado, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, join the family, because you already know we the latest in the game. And without further ado, let's grab our blankets, or in this case a jacket, and let's go on with this video.
Just out of college, and despite having a degree, it was almost impossible for me to get a job. Day after day, week after week, I sent out my resume to every game developer and computer company in the country, and a few in Europe and Asia. 6 months into this, my money was running very low. This was when I was forced to face the facts. I needed a job immediately, and it didn't matter where and for how much. Just in time, I found a job listing for a video game store at the mall. You know the one I mean, and the terrible stories you hear about them are almost always true. Because of my background in games, I was given an interview immediately and hired soon after. My first shift was the following morning. Other than a few hiccups along the way, it kept my head above water until I got on with Dell 2 years later. The meat of the facts began just before my second year was about to start. Because of the high turnover, I was made an assistant manager by month 9. None of my shifts were evenings, so I was tasked with keeping the younger employees in line. A job I never really took seriously since I was only a few years older than they were.
Okay, can we talk about his facial expressions? He went from to. Like, what is these facial expressions coming from? Like, he be telling the story and all I'll be seeing is the facial expressions. That's crazy to me. I don't know.
I didn't care how they acted as long as they did their job. Around this time, a girl was hired that could have been my undoing. The second I saw her, I knew she would be a problem. However, it wasn't just her that was the source of trouble. Her super jealous boyfriend became a thorn in the side of every guy that worked with her, and sometimes just spoke to her. A shift of hers didn't go by without him showing up to check on her. Some nights, he would do no more than sit on a bench outside the store and watch her work. But anytime she would get too close to a guy for his liking, he'd approach them and physically intimidate the guy she was talking to.
Bro, this is more than just clamping or whatever you call it. This is more than just clamping. He done passed the line. Like, that could be a 50-year-old man and you walking up to them intimidating them. Okay, Johnny, we're not just about to go around here and do this. And your little girlfriend Karen can go. Just go. Cause you need to get a haircut too. Do you see your hairline? You got no space to be walking up to people with a hairline like that. That looked like a lowercase McDonald's symbol. No, actually, the McDonald's logo, a lowercase version of it. You a free sponsorship. I mean, you don't get paid for it. You are a free sponsorship to McDonald's. That's all I'm saying.
She never said a thing when this happened. I actually think she kind of liked it, but it would be what would push her away from him in the end. She'd worked at the store for a couple of weeks before someone showed her the hallways that ran along the back of every place. She took advantage of the fact he wasn't aware of them, and this turned out to be a big mistake. If any person reading this doesn't know what I'm talking about, pay attention. You're about to learn something. I'm not sure how common this is, but some indoor malls, those built in the old way where each store inhabited an area that leased from the mall owner, there are a network of paths or halls that run behind each business. They're used mainly by the employees. The system allows them to enter and leave their jobs without being seen by the customers. although I'm pretty sure their intended purpose was to give janitorial staff an uncluttered pathway to maintain the spaces. That being said, in all my time at that job, I only saw a member of the cleaning staff a handful of times. Most of those times, they were sneaking a cigarette rather than working. Luckily, we could still smoke inside the building back then. No one said anything to the office if they caught you, probably because they were doing the same thing on their breaks.
Bro, hold up. Did y'all just laugh? Y'all was like, oh, like my cigarette, okay. What is wrong? It's not funny. It's really not. Her body already not built right, and he just came out of nowhere. Like, what kind of haircut is that? Did y'all moms raise y'all right? Because for you to have a haircut like that is like so annoying to me. But anyway, why is their ear so small? Never mind. I'm not even about to get on the way she built. Like, you don't need to be smoking no more. That's how I'm gonna put it.
If we are all on the same page now, I'll get to the real story. Like I said, his jealousy, no matter how it turned her on, was at the same time pushing her away. On her breaks, she'd often sneak out the back and disappear for a while. Where she went, I had no idea or really cared. The boyfriend took forever to catch on, but when he did, he was super angry. She continued this routine for a few months, and just one day, she never came back to the store. I didn't attach any importance to this. It was during the holidays, and work was a nightmare. It wasn't uncommon for employees to go on break after an especially hectic rush and not return.
Bro, she's dead. No. Why did the boyfriend do that to her and not the dude that was near her? She said the dudes that was near her. Well, the narrator, the person who wrote this story said it was the dudes that was near her that he wanted to fight. So why did he kill her? I know this story gonna end with somebody getting killed. It's not a horror story without somebody getting killed. I'm gonna put it that way. He looks sad. He looked like he probably missed her because he don't got nobody to light his cigarette no more. That's what that is.
Turnover was simply that bad. Things got a bit more interesting about 4 or 5 days later. The police showed up and had some questions about her disappearance.
Why is your police badge backwards? First of all, what type of symbol is that under the police? What type of symbol is that under the police badge? And then look at your face. What is wrong? What is wrong with these people haircuts? It look like his hair is on his hat, like glued to his hat. What is wrong with your pocket is lopsided? So is your star. Get away. Go. Even your stretch lines is lopsided. Oh my God.
I was like, disappearance? What's going on here? They then informed me that she had been reported missing the day after she bailed on work by her parents. She had never made it home, and they thought we may know something. The crazy thing was that when they visited her boyfriend's place to see if she was there, in addition to him not being there, after some digging, they learned that nobody had seen either of them for about a week. I was quick to make it clear that I didn't know anything. I had just assumed she got sick of the place and bailed. I guess they were happy with that. Never heard from them again. Time passed and the situation around her almost faded completely from my mind, until something really big in February happened and brought it back into crystal clarity. Some workmen were renovating one of the store's spaces for an incoming client, and once they had completed emptying the space of what the previous renters had left behind, they began the undertaking of finding the source of a terrible smell. Initially, it had been inferred that the smell was emanating from some old food products left behind in the...
I told y'all she was dead. What did I tell y'all? Now, warning. I forgot to say this in the beginning. If you do not like horror stories, please click off if you are watching this at night. But this scene is about to be very gruesome, I think. But it's just the animation. What is wrong with their pockets? They're so lopsided. This animation just... Why is his ring finger the same size as his pinky finger? Never mind. What is...
Space. But even after the clearing, the stink remained. The next theory was that an animal like a rat had died in the wall. It had happened before. So, before they went to the extreme of busting holes in the walls to find the source of the smell, they went next door to the adjoining space that was also empty and had been for some time. They spent close to an hour sifting through tons of old displays and leftover building materials. It turned out that the mall had been using this space for years as storage and the place was a mess. The two guys tasked with doing this were about to say forget it, when one of them stumbled upon the source of the stink, and it definitely wasn't a rat. Someone had taken a large piece of plywood and put it over a tiny little closet, thus making it invisible. The guy had caught on that the smell grew worse as he got closer to this board, so he pushed aside the heavy display rack holding the board against the wall, and as soon as he pulled back the board, he found what was causing it. The semi-mummified body of what looked like a female was lying on the floor facing the wall. It appeared the arid...
No! No! I wasn't ready for this scene. What is that? She looks so ugly. I mean, it's not like she don't look like the other characters, but it's just like her skin and her eyes. He took out her eyes. She gonna haunt you forever. I feel bad for you.
Dry Arizona heat had preserved the corpse and suppressed decomposition. This had to have been why it wasn't stinking up the entire mall and managed to remain hidden for so long. Naturally, the mall was alive with talk of who the body could possibly belong to. Numbers of people had just stopped coming to work one day or skipped out during their lunch.
Oh. Hold on. Did you just say who the body belonged to? The soul that was in that body. The body does not belong to nobody. Unless you're talking about her parents, the body does not belong to nobody. Okay? I'm going to let them get like 3-4 more sentences in. But I think this is the only story we're doing because this video is getting kind of long because I keep on pausing it. Sorry, you guys. But if you guys want a part 2, get this video to 15 likes. If y'all actually want me to do pranks, make sure to get this video to 30 likes, all right? I'm going to do some pranks. Not going to lie.
We'd gone through at least 15 people in the last year ourselves. When the answer came, no one could have guessed who it was. Early one morning, I was awakened by my manager with the news that Becky Morrison was the person they found in the empty store. My only answer was, who? He reminded me that she was the girl with the crazy, jealous boyfriend that had disappeared just before Christmas. I hung up and went back to sleep. When I returned from my shift that night, it was the only thing anyone could talk about. The next question asked was, who did it? The overall favorite was the crazy boyfriend. Everyone knew by now that he had disappeared just after her, and considering his body wasn't found alongside hers, it was a fair assumption. He was most definitely nuts. It made sense. The story took a whole new angle just a couple of weeks after she was identified. An article was published in the paper discussing a possible new motive behind this. The police had recently received information that Becky had been messing around with a fellow mall employee during her breaks. They were meeting in the unoccupied store her body had been discovered in.
Hold up! Pipe down! Pipe all the way down. He looked like a legit crackhead. I think she deserved this. I don't care. If you had first of all, you had a boyfriend. Second of all, you meeting up with a crackhead with a vest that's going up. Like you can see his belly button. Do you see the way he built? He's something like these. Why? Why? Do you see these people's haircuts? I don't care. You deserved it. You made out with a psychopath. That's on you.
Fooling around. After following some leads, they were able to identify the employee. He was a 22-year-old guy working in the Hallmark store, but no name was given. He told the officers that he and Becky were supposed to hook up the day she disappeared, but he got holed up by the time he'd reached the empty space and she was gone. He figured she couldn't wait and returned to work. It was only a few days later, when the cops showed up at the mall to ask questions, that he heard she was missing. His mind went straight to the worst, and he was afraid he'd be blamed for it, so he said nothing. Then, when the news reached him that the boyfriend was also missing, it was too late. He figured if the boyfriend was hiding out, waiting for his chance to get him, it was best for him to say nothing, just on the off chance he didn't know for sure who the guy was. It all boiled down to him being afraid, and with what I knew, I could understand. What nobody knew, and still probably doesn't, is that her and I had a thing for a short while too. It wasn't long, but once is all it takes. I was the person who told her about the back hallways, after all.
Hold up, I'm not about to pause on this scene.
We slipped out there a few times to mess around. Fortunately, we never got busted.
It's her, it's not the guys, it's her. It's her.
We moved on to the next guy. I wasn't hurt. I knew she had a boyfriend anyway. Now you know why I had to act as if though I didn't care about her. We figured it was the safest thing for the both of us. Turns out we were right. I was overjoyed no one knew about us. If the dude was crazy enough to strangle her for cheating, which seemed to be the reason, he would no doubt come after the dude she was with. I felt sorry for the Hallmark guy. It wouldn't take much mental math to figure out who he was if he didn't already know, and since they still haven't found him to this day, the fear of her boyfriend popping up out of nowhere and putting some holes in him must have been real strong. I know I was looking over my shoulder for several years after. The police have this theory that he may have ended his life not long after. There hadn't been any activity on his bank account or card for years, and I still wasn't taking any chances. 9 years later, a week doesn't go by that I don't think about her. An outsider may have seen her as an easy girl, but I still don't think of her that way. It struck me that she was just looking for a guy that would treat her well and commit to her for the long term without being psychotic about it. She was genuinely a good person, and certainly didn't deserve the end she had, but then again, I can't think of very many that do.
It's just me, but do anime food look better than real food? Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this lit video. If you did, make sure to drop a big fat like. Remember, 15 likes, I will do, I forgot what I had said. Hold up. No, I said make sure to get this video to 15 likes and something. Y'all can rewind what I said. But I know when I said 25 likes, I said I'll do more pranks, all right? Now, without further ado, thank you guys for tuning in today, okay? And without further ado, I'm going to let y'all go. In the meantime, you know what to do. Stay awesome, be awesome, embrace awesome, and live awesome. Peace.